Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm back. It is pretty early. Not extremely early, but just shy of 9 o'clock. It's about 8:45. And I thought that I would come on and make a video, just talk to you guys. I'm actually going to be filming two different videos today. Not sure if I'm gonna post this one first or not, but either way, you'll get a chance to see what I got going on. But I'm up this morning and I am hydrating myself. Those of you know I love me some drip drop. So I'm having lemon this morning, having a lemon drip drop. I recently restocked because I hadn't ordered my drip drop in a while, and I noticed that I was feeling, a little different. So I was like, you know what? I was feeling pretty good when I was drinking my electrolyte water. So the two that I get, like this one has lemon, some type of berry. Let me see. Oh, it just says berry. So it has lemon, berry, orange, and watermelon. And I get this one because of the watermelon. So I love the watermelon in this one. And then this one has strawberry lemonade, fruit punch. It has, let's see. Oh, Jesus, I can't see this. The words are weird. Anyway, strawberry lemonade, whatever this one is, it has grape and fruit punch. So I have to look because this. I'm trying to think if this is berry too. Did both of them have berry? Let me see. The colors don't match. This says berry. I think this says cherry. So this one is cherry, and then the berry is in the other one. But yeah, I restocked on my drip drop, and it has 32 packs in each. So what I did in the past, I'm not going to do it this time because he didn't even use them. The flavors that I don't like the grape and the orange, I took those out and I gave them to my husband. But it took him a long time to use them. And I think some of the packets got all like crystallized, like because he let them sit there. I don't know if they got wet or what happened, but ain't nobody got money to be wasting products and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna keep them, and I'm just gonna suffer through the flavors I don't like, because I would drink definitely drink one of these a day, and it does help. I noticed my the way that my body behaves when I use my drip drop. Anyway, today I wanted to kind of come and talk to y'all because I told you about some of the challenges that I was facing, and the reason that I wasn't filming. So I'm gonna get into a little bit more detail about something that happened, and how it kind of changed how I move. So, woo. One day I was at work, and it was in the morning, and I was sitting there. This particular morning, instead of eating breakfast, I decided I wanted to make a smoothie. And what I did was I had tried these blendable, and I think I told y'all about that before. I've tried these blendables. What blendables are is they're these small little prepackaged frozen fruit and vegetables for you to dump in the blender, and it's supposed to be 2 servings. And I got the one that was like banana, kale, or spinach or something like that. And then I got the other one, and it might have been strawberry and something. And I've had them before, and I never had an issue, right? So this particular morning, I made me a smoothie out of the blendables, and I used half the pack. And, everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, my top lip started kind of tingling. And I was like, what is going on? I was like, oh, my lip feels weird. But I, I have this mirror that sits in front of my desk, and it sometimes when I'm, it's not that I'm sitting there staring at myself in the mirror all day, but it helps me to, stay aware of if I got food in my teeth, I got something going on, whatever. So, because I don't like talking to people and I see stuff happening and you're trying to be discreet to kind of let them know that they got, a little neighbor up there, or they got food in their teeth, or lipstick on their teeth, or eye booger, or whatever. I try to let them know, but try to be discreet about it. Anyway, so that has me kind of self-conscious when I've eaten and different things like that. So I have this little bitty mirror on my desk. And so anyway, when my lips started tingling, I looked in the mirror and it didn't look any different. It just felt weird. It was like tingling to the point where like I see myself touching my lip, but it got to a point where, I couldn't really feel it. I felt the pressure of it, but I didn't, actually feel like now I can feel myself touching my lip. Anyway, not much time passed. I think it might have been half an hour. I was, I'm just steady working and stuff, and went to look at my phone for something, and happened to, like, my phone was here and the mirror is here, and I saw myself in the mirror, and I looked because I noticed that the right side of my lip was large, was getting like puffy, and it was larger than the left side. And so it kind of took me like, what the heck? So now I'm picking up the mirror and I'm looking and I'm poking. And now, like, on the inside of the right side of my lip is numb. And I'm like, what is going on with my lip? So I grab my water bottle and I'm rinsing my mouth out. And I'm trying to, I'm like, dang, did something bite me or whatever? And I'm examining my upper lip in the mirror, and I'm looking, trying to see what's going on. Oh my goodness. The next half an hour, the entire top of my lip was puffy and swollen. And so now it's to the point where I'm starting to feel like pressure, and I feel it's like it's really tender on the inside of my mouth. So I walked over to my manager and my director, and I was like, my lip is getting puffy. I'm not really sure what's going on. I said, but I think I need like a Benadryl or something. I said, I don't know what's happening. So my manager was like, do you have anything? I said, no. I said, but I know that there's like, a Walgreens in the tower, of one of the buildings. And I was going to walk over and, go to Walgreens or whatever. And so my manager was like, no, she was going to run to the store real quick and she was going to grab the Benadryl. So she got the Benadryl and I took the Benadryl. And I promise you, normally the way that my system is set up since I had my surgery, if I take anything like that, it immediately hits my system. But it was early enough in the day where I was like, I'm not worried about driving home or anything like that. I have several hours of work still left to do. But the Benadryl, like, it just seemed like it didn't do anything. It was almost like I just ate a Skittles. It was just weird. So as the day went on, and I mean very short blocks of time, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, my lip just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and to the point where I got scared. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. And so when I went over the first time to talk to my manager and my director, they both was like, did you eat something? Did you touch something? Like, I was like, the only thing that I did different was I had a smoothie this morning. I said, but I've had the smoothies that I had, what I had this morning, I've had it before and I never had a reaction to it. And so they both was like, yeah, something's clearly going on. When I went back over there to talk to them, because at that point my heart was beating fast and I was really nervous because I was worried about like the swelling, like traveling to my throat and, different things like that. And so I wasn't having any trouble talking. Outside of the fact that I couldn't form certain words because my upper lip had gotten so big that I couldn't form certain letters. So when I went back over there, they both was like, you need to go to urgent care. So I was like, yeah, I think I need to go to the doctor. My lip looked like somebody was boop, popped me straight in it. And I was just so nervous and so scared. And so um I went to urgent care. When I walked in there, by that time, because I was like putting a ice pack on it and trying to get the swelling to go down. And when I got to urgent care, I had the ice pack on my mouth. And so, the guy, I was like, I need to be seen or whatever. He was like, well, what's going on? I said, well, my upper lip just started swelling and I don't know why. I have no idea like what happened. I don't remember touching anything. I haven't had anything to eat that I'm allergic to. I was just going through this stuff. So he was like, well, let me see. And I pulled the ice off my mouth and he said, whoa. He was like, he started calling the medical assistant, the nurse, for them to come over. And they took me back like immediately. And so when he called them over, I had, of course, put the ice pack back on my mouth. Now my lip had swelled up so bad to the point where it was hot. It was like it had fever or something in it. So it was causing the ice to melt like really quickly. So when I got to the room, they was like, take the ice pack off your mouth. And they both was looking like, dag. So they immediately called in the doctor. So they started asking me questions. And of course, they took my vitals and things like that. Their concern was that I was going to have swelling in my throat because they didn't know what caused it. So doctor came in. He was African, Nigerian. I'm not really sure, like where he was from, but his accent was so thick that I had trouble understanding what he was saying. And he was making jokes and stuff. And he was like, the first thing he said was, do I know you? Do I know you? I was like, no, you don't know me. I've never seen you a day in my life. And are you sure? Are you sure? Have you come here before? I said, no, I've never been into this clinic before. Because it was the urgent care facility for the hospital system that I work for. And so he was, oh, seem like I know you. Seem like I know you. I was like, no. And I'm thinking to myself, can we get on with my urgent issue here? And so he said, okay. He said, tell me about your day. What happened before this? And he started asking me questions. He said, so I'm not worried about it being anything that you ate or drank. He said, because by now it would have caused your throat to swell up. And he said, are you having trouble breathing? I said, no. He said, are you having trouble speaking? And I said, no. And he said, okay. He said, well, sometimes there are situations that happen and we have no explanation for it. And I was like, okay. So what they did was they wound up giving me, they gave me a steroid. I think it was a steroid injection. And they gave me a steroid injection. And he called in the same steroid, but it was in a pill form, to the pharmacy and a prescription for EpiPens. So that it took that day, the next day, and by that next afternoon before my lip fully went down. Because by the next day, you could clearly see a difference in the size of my lip. It went down some, but you could still see. When I looked at myself in the mirror, I didn't even recognize myself. To me, I looked like a completely different person. It was the most horrifying experience I've had in a really long time. And it was very scary. It was just crazy. So because of the fact that we don't know what caused it, I now have to, this is how I changed the way I move. I now have to carry an EpiPen in my purse. And yeah, I remember stories of my mom, because she loved seafood, especially crab, just like me. And for some reason, she ate crab one day and it caused her to have a allergic reaction, and she was having trouble breathing. And they had to take her to the ER. And so now she has to carry an EpiPen, even though she hasn't had, because she's eaten crab since then. We ain't gonna talk about that. Mama. But she hasn't had a reaction to crab since that episode. So it's kind of weird how your bodies, tend to change over time. And like for me, for years as a kid, I was allergic to eggs. And I told y'all this story before. And as an adult, because I need protein. And I was saying to my doctor one time, how can you tell if you're still allergic to an ingredient? How can you How can you tell if you no longer have this food allergy? He said, to be perfectly honest, you just have to eat it and see what happens. And I'm looking like that's kind of a dangerous trick. So for me, for eggs as a child, I would eat eggs and almost instantly when it hit my body, I would just have this projectile vomiting. It was the most uncomfortable gastrointestinal experience of my childhood. I hated, like, because as a kid they would eat everything on your plate, even, and they thought that I was vomiting eggs because I didn't like eggs. No, my body could not digest the protein that's in the eggs. And so that's why when I was getting flu shots and stuff, I would always get the one they said eggless, or I wouldn't get because for a long time I didn't get a flu shot because I was just terrified of what would happen. So anyway, then I found out about the eggless and I started getting that one. Even now, because I ate eggs and nothing happened, and I ate a few, eggs a few days and nothing happened. So I said, I guess I'm no longer allergic to eggs. And so when I talked to the doctor, that's what he said. I've grown out of this food allergy. So even though I know I'm no longer allergic to eggs, I still get the eggless flu vaccination because I don't know how my body is going to react to that. So I know that I can handle the one that's eggless. So that's what I stick with. So yeah, just like growing in and out of food allergies, your body changes over time. I just turned 54 years old, and it's stuff happening with me from a physical and medical and mental standpoint that maybe 20 years ago I'd have been like, not so much, right? But let me be the first to tell you, carrying this EpiPen around in my purse has me thinking about so much. It's like, OMG. And my mom, she jokes because she's like, I'm not supposed to be eating this, but if I eat it, I got my EpiPen. Y'all just have to stab me. And I'll be sitting there like, anybody trying to stab you because you want to be hard-headed? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to be eating stuff because at the end of the day, I don't know if I can stab. I'm not afraid of needles or nothing, but I don't know if I can stab myself with no EpiPen. I guess if I'm scared that I'm going to die, subconsciously I would just do it because I don't want to die. But I'm like, you don't know until you're in that situation. So I don't know, y'all. I'm hoping and praying that, God forbid, something happens and I have to get jugged with an EpiPen, that somebody else is there and will do it, because your girl probably be passed out or something. But y'all just, like Gary with the T say, y'all keep me in your prayers, because I don't know. Now, the weird thing is, if this little tidbit of information, anybody in the medical field knows that the people in the medical field make the worst patients. That is a known fact. We make the worst patients. Even though we didn't go to like for me, I've been in the medical field since my senior year in high school. I don't, my name don't have no MD, DO, DPM, nothing at the end of it. I'm not a doctor. But we don't have no problem going to WebMD and Googling stuff and looking at, like, for symptoms to try to get a heads up. So when we get to the doctor's office, we can say, well, I have this symptom, this, and I was thinking maybe I have. We make the worst patients. We do. And it's not that we trying to be that way, but once you've been in an environment for so long, your brain just don't process information like the average person who doesn't work around clinical people, and that's kind of, it makes me think about Cindy. Let me make you laugh, girl. My girl Cindy B, she's always talking about how these people on YouTube is trying to diagnose people. You know what I'm saying? So you haven't studied psychology. You don't have a psychology degree or nothing, but you feel like since you've been to a psychologist and you've been diagnosed with these conditions or whatever, not all of a sudden you qualify to diagnose other people with the same crap that you got, right? So it's like, okay, because you cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Now I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because I'm doing this, and you automatically associate my behavior with this condition because this is what you was doing. But my thing is, at the end of the day, boo boo, you don't know me like that. You don't know me like that. And people have to stop. People have to stop what they're doing. And I'm laughing because I have had this happen to me in my life. I have had people trying to say X, Y, and Z because I, say this and say that. And I tell people quick, yes, I'm OCD. I'm not as bad as I used to be. What to say? My name is Toni and I'm obsessive compulsive. Yes. Okay. I'm not as bad as I used to be because I'm going to tell you why. When my kids were growing up, I had to kind of work on letting some of that go because I was making my kids miserable, running behind them, picking up their toys. They couldn't play and be little kids because my OCD was just nuts. It was on 10 all the time. I had to see the vacuum cleaner lines in the carpet, and then I was going, like when I was pregnant with my daughter, I had this thing about bubbles. I sat in a tub for hours. My gynecologist was like, sis, you got to stop bathing so much. And it wasn't that I was bathing, but I loved, during my pregnancy, I had to sit in full tubs of just hot water. And I had to have huge amounts of bubble bath because I would sit there with these sponges that were about this big and just squeezing the sponges and the bubbles coming all up through. It was therapeutic. So when my doctor said I had to stop bathing so much, I'm sitting there going, but how am I going to play with the bubbles? How am I going to play with the bubbles? So I was in the kitchen one day, and this is, after I had my daughter and everything, and I was in the kitchen one day, and, I had set my son up for lunch, and I was in there like cleaning up the dishes and everything. And this light went off. So I'm washing dishes, and I squeezed the sponge that I was, washing the dishes with. And my brain was like, oh, bubbles. So instead of sitting in the tub, I would use the dishwashing liquid and just sit there and just squeeze the sponge with the bubbles. Y'all don't come for me. It was therapeutic. It was something that my brain just, ASMR, I didn't know was a thing, okay? And I know now that that's what it was. It was the ASMR. It was something that just, it really calmed me. I wasn't stressed about anything back then, but it was so comforting and soothing. And so anyway, this is just another example of how you kind of change over time, because during that phase in my life, being a new mom and stuff, it was just different things happening with me. So it wasn't like food allergies and stuff like that, but it was more mental things, like psychologically. It was, coping different ways with the different changes in my life, because as a new parent, you might be a little nervous that you're gonna break your kid or you're gonna damage your kid, and stuff like that. So I was always making sure I was attentive, making sure that I touched them, making sure that I let them know, like reinforce the fact that mommy love you, and make sure that even though they couldn't really form words at a certain stage, that when they were saying la 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 la, and I'm going, what, get out of here, I'm actually interacting with them like I understand what they're saying. And so that was very important in the terms of forming relationships with a relationship with my kids. So what does all that have to do with my lips swelling up? Well, I just say you progress and you transition in and out of different phases in your life, whether it's physical changes, mental changes, emotional changes, or whatever is going on in your life. And you just have to figure out what you're going to do in order for you to be able to cope. That could have easily been a moment when my lips swole up where I completely panicked and shut down. I'm usually pretty good under pressure until it comes to me, until it comes to stuff happening to me, because I'm also claustrophobic. So sometimes, like say, for example, if I have sinus crud that's going on, if my head gets stopped up and my ears get plugged up, I literally start panicking because it gives me a feeling of being claustrophobic and being in a fishbowl, and it makes me feel stuck. So I always have to, the minute I start seeing signs and symptoms of stuff going on with my sinuses, I have to start trying to take something and make sure I clear it out. Because that happened to me one time. I was knocked out, and all of a sudden I started having sinus drainage, and it drained into my ear to the point where I couldn't hear out of my left ear. And I woke straight up, and my heart was just boom, 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 boom. And it was like, I don't know. I'm like, girl, you need to calm down. You need to calm down. So I'm always talking to myself. That's one of my tools that I use. I talk to myself the way that I would want someone to talk to me, or the way that I would talk to somebody else if they were dealing with the moment of panic. So I be saying to myself, are you really doing this right now? Are you really doing this right now? You need to stop, take a deep breath, and you need to think about where you are. You can see where you are. You can hear where you are. You need to just take things a moment at a time and allow yourself, take deep breaths and allow yourself to kind of come back to a place of calm and peace. So I'm always, Toni, we having these conversations, girl. We having these conversations because we don't want to be out here, running butt naked in the street because we having a moment. You don't want people to think you crazy, but inside you like losing it. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Life happens again, whether you want it to or not. So how are you going to deal with the changes that you go through? You know what I'm saying? How are you going to deal with realizing that, your mind is not as sharp as it used to be, because even now with the vid and everything, my taste buds is tripping. And as a person who loved to cook, and I enjoy, food, not to the point of, I have to have food. I just enjoy, experimenting in the kitchen and stuff like that. But if the food don't taste, it tastes off to you or something, and everybody else is eating and saying they don't know what you're talking about, sometimes that can kind of be frustrating. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, I'm going to show y'all some pictures, and all I'm going to say is just get ready, because it's not pretty. It is not pretty. It's not pretty, y'all. So I'm going to show you the pictures, and it's not going to be in any particular order. It's just going to be all the pictures that I captured during this time. And just letting y'all know, y'all better keep your eyes and your ears open for the changes that are happening in your life, because you don't know when they show up and you don't know when they leaving. So anyway, those of y'all who are subscribed to my channel, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I sure appreciate you. I want to send a special shout out to Miss Cindy B. Hey, girl. She is an awesome person. She rebooted her channel, and she has another channel. I'm going to put that in the description box as well, that she's trying to get off the ground. I like watching her, and she is just a reminder to me to just be true to who you are, and don't let people try to control, the way that you think and what you believe. And so anyway, she has been an awesome supporter of my channel. I really appreciate all of your support. You rocking it 100, girl. You rocking it 100. And again, thanks to those who have been rocking with me. Thanks to those who are new here. If you're new and you haven't subscribed, I hope that you go ahead and subscribe. I'm making a slow comeback. I'm not making any promises though. But I have several hundreds of videos on my channel that you can go back, learn a little bit about me, and just kind of get to know me or whatever. Please make sure you give this video a thumbs up, share it out, share it out, share it out. I am a person who believes in just speaking positivity and purpose into people's lives, including my own. I don't believe in tearing people down, getting involved in drama. We keep it peaceful over here, because otherwise it's frustrating and it's aggravating for me because I can't tolerate that kind of thing. So if you want to come over and listen to my quirky self talk about different topics, come on over. If you want to come over and check out a couple of my recipes. I used to be plant-based for about 6.5 years. I am now eating animal protein because of health challenges that I face, trying to make sure I get all the nutrients that I need. But I do still have some wonderful ideas for some plant-based dishes, and I can't wait to share those with you. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. But we don't do so without saying love yourself, love somebody else, and until next time, y'all take care. Bye.
If you're not already a member of the Fetch fam, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and download that app, scan my QR code, and get to scanning those receipts. You might as well take advantage of it. You're already spending the money. The receipts translates into points, the points translates into cash, and you can redeem that cash via store card or cash card, or you can donate to charity. Well, all right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, but you know we don't do so without saying, love yourself, love somebody else, and until next time, y'all take care. Bye.